So this is the other thing that I got cube related for my birthday this year, was a Rubik's Cube made to look like the puzzle box from Hellraiser 3, the classic Clive Barker horror series. Now, as cubes go, it looks like all the artwork is screen printed onto the cube itself. It's just on the inside, it's just a gold cube all the way through. The mechanism is a little bit stiff, but it's not too bad. But I'm kind of afraid to scramble it because despite what the box says that there's 43 quintillion possible combinations, but since this is technically a picture cube, even with this symmetry, which may or may not be symmetrical, you figure that it's got probably thousands of times. I mean, if it's a pure picture cube, then we could say that it's roughly 20,000 times as many combinations as a standard Rubik's Cube. It's more like 8.8 times 10 to the 22nd. But anyway, so we'll assume that it's a full picture cube, but the symmetry and everything else makes me it's amusing from a movie prop kind of perspective, and maybe as I get this longer, now I notice that this side is not identical to this side, so there's no symmetry there, but some of the other sides it's harder to tell the two sides if they're different or if they're not different, and maybe if I figure out if they're different, it'll actually summon stuff from other universes. Now, the other thing that I did notice about this is it was kind of heavy, but you can't just trust your gut feeling on a thing like this when it's so easy to measure. So we grabbed a little accessory of science fairs past. It's our little gram scale, and a standard Rubik's Cube is let's see what we got, 107.2 grams. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the video or not. Let's see. Okay, and we'll grab one of the the Moyu that I use most of the time. That is 83.6 grams. And one of the other speed cubes I have, 84.5 grams. The speed cubes are both on the light side, lighter than a standard Rubik's Cube. And now the Hellraiser Cube, 112.9, which makes it only just barely heavier than a regular Rubik's Cube. So it's kind of, I found it interesting that I noticed that it was heavier just from that small amount. Both of them, if you do that in imperial units, that's just under 4 ounces a piece. So anyway, so it's going to go back in its box so that it can't wreak havoc on the known universe. And so let's get it back in here and back under control.